you've watched what ran Jackson off a cliff.
Yeah.
You know who did this. Yeah. And to sit here and say, all right, now we're going to reward you and let you have all your free the land politics over here, but you can send your kids over here to these 6-star schools now. Yeah. That's going to be, and I know Lindsey's, her hair is melting right now because that's not the argument they make, but that's the argument the public sees.
Yeah, I think they're going to make that, but I would also counter with this. So working in the DA's office, I spent a lot of time. I know you spent a lot of time in those neighborhoods too.
Yeah.
And I spent so much time with a lot of these families, and a lot of people are not, they're stuck there. They got a house they can't sell.
My parents are in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, right,
I get it,
yeah, I mean, they're and so like there are people that are just like they can't
I'm not against
move
it.
financially.
I'm gonna go on record. I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's going to be a hard sale.
No, I think it is gonna be a hard sell. I think that's just the reality of the matter. But there's like, I wish the public could understand. I mean, there's a lot of good freaking black people out there. They're not free the land politics. They're just they're lower income level and they got kids
kind of stuck.
And they're stuck in West Jackson or they're stuck, in the Verdon edition and they can't do anything about it. I mean, so that's that to me is kind of important, where I think that maybe if they got a good kid, that kid should not suffer, for that situation.
And I'll bring the point back up, not everybody's gonna, if this was to come about, not everybody would take advantage of it because of the parental aspect of it. And two, if it was just the Wild West and okay, everybody, you can go to whatever school you want,
right?
Well, what happens to the schools they left? I mean, at that point, you think, well, they would shut down, because the big point is that the money, every public school student is worth, I can't remember, X amount of thousands of dollars. Well, that money follows the student, and that's the conservative idea behind it. It's that money follows the student. It doesn't go to the whatever district they're in.
I know.
All those schools would fold up if it was just wide open, and I mean, it wouldn't be that way.
It's funny. There's actually there's a lot of people on the left that agree, because the left's position has always been this public school over everything, right?
Yeah.
Like it's all public school.
Yeah.
But then there's been a faction on the left that said, well, that's not pragmatic, because it should be about the student.
Yes.
So you have this weird team up of conservatives and some people on the left that have always felt this way, that are against the use the public school industrial complex, which is what I've always felt. For the last 20 years, I felt like this was an industrial complex that the left was giving into teachers unions and to promote this public school system that in big cities was failing, and that they didn't, and that the conservative position with the student was much better. And I think there's a lot of people you see on the left that now do have that viewpoint.
Yeah.
And so that's where that, I think, is gained some steam, where it's kind of a bipartisan thing.
We also have the issue, like somebody brought it up in the comments here. Most of the suburban schools are at full capacity.
Yeah,
now, anyway.
A lot of them are.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Close. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, like, how does this, if those schools are at full capacity, they can't take any of these kids. What are we just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic in Hinds County?
That's
what are we doing?
Yeah.
Explain. I don't understand the charter school thing. Admittingly, I don't understand what a charter school is. Is that a private school? Is that another word for private school? I mean, what is a charter school?
That's a question.
I think a lot of people are embarrassed to ask that.
Yeah.
I'm not. I asked a dumb question.
That's our buddy Grant.
What is a charter school?
Yeah.
Explain this to me. And the school, the money can follow the kid to a charter school and also a private school.
It's I think I just had to Google it. I'm not going to lie, like I knew this, because this is not. Now you're asking me about murder. I can tell you anything you want to know, but this is not my issue. like apparently it's a school that receives government funding but operates independently from the state school system.
So like an independent school. Are all of Texas schools charter schools? They all have everything's known as a independent ISD. Okay. All their schools are whatever ISD, which stands for independent school district, but it's an independent school, so it can't technically be a charter school district, I guess.
And unless it's something they're doing something similar like Pearl. Like Pearl, the city of Pearl has their own school district. They're not in the Rankin County school district. It may be something like that.
Maybe so.
Yeah, I mean, I see one. There's obviously I live in Belhaven, which is close to Midtown, and they've got a real nice new one there that they built the last few years. It's over there, and I've seen them around town in Jackson. But I think that's I think that's a way to go with it too. The charter schools.
I mean, explaining that to people, you're gonna have to, the school choice is turning into a dirty word.
Oh, you have to educate the voter on it.
It's like
if that's your hill to die on. You've got to get the message out.
It's like how Democrats pivoted from abortion to Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna or women's health.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to move
women's-
away.
That's the only issue.
You're gonna have to move away from that word abortion, which or school choice, if you're gonna sell this to the public.
Yeah.
In the Tri-County area.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and I think maybe an easier way would be to sell it by put a number on it.
Yeah.
Here would be a way to do it. And what I mean by that, say, okay, we are only taking 500 students a year from Jackson to be dispersed evenly through the metro counties. 500, and that's a number that probably people could live with. And I would bet you that it's going to be hard to get to that 500 number, and just in parents in the city of Jackson.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I think that's a good hard cap. 500.
Then you actually start keeping up with truancy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
another big
stuff that's
huge
not being
problem.
kept up with in Jackson. I assume.
Now,
You don't ever hear about truancy officers in Jackson anymore.
Now, I don't know if you did that, would there be some sort of constitutional issue, like an equal protection issue? I don't know. That would have to look at. But but I think that maybe that could sell it. Then the public is like in their mind, like they're kind of what you're saying. The argument is we're going to get swarmed with all these gangbanging thug kids. I mean, that's what they're thinking. I mean, I'm not saying that's true.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's what they're thinking.
I'm not even thinking gangbanging thug kids. I'm just thinking about people who have, because it's happening now.
Mhm.
So let's just be honest here. And I know Pearl has instituted tag readers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've got an out of Rankin County tag and you're dropping your kid off at school, well, we're going to find out why is that Hinds County tag dropping this kid off at school in Rankin County.
Well, that's come up. I've had some of my constituents reach out to me. They're in line dropping their kid off, and they see Hinds County.
Yep.
And they're coming like, "What's going on? This isn't right." And I reached out, and supposedly there's an investigator that goes to, at least in Rankin County, to look into that. But COVID hit, and that was the cause of that. At least in Rankin, having a bunch of Hinds County residents get into Rankin County schools.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah, that's we remember when we were kids. That was your parents would tell you the truancy officer was going to come get you.
Yeah,
never saw that guy, but my mom used to say that, like the
Yeah.
truancy. But I guess he does exist.
Yeah,
I just none of us ever met him.
It got brought up in one of our Jackson committee meetings. I think Chief Wade he mentioned it, and it's a massive problem on just getting Jackson kids to go to school.
Yeah,
big time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Clay Edwards Show here, wherever you may be watching this video. Real quick, it's brought to you by the free testosterone screenings at Men's Health of Mississippi. Ladies, don't let the name fool you. You are welcome to take advantage of the free testosterone screenings as well. All you got to do is text my name, all caps, Clay, to 601-327-8550. Just a few of the symptoms that could be brought on by low testosterone include, but are not limited to, fatigue, decreased muscle tone, lack of energy, low libido, that's your sex drive, brain fog, and even sleep disturbances. It helped my mental health and depression a lot too, believe it or not. Again, text my name, 601-327-8550. Text Clay to 601-327-8550, and they're going to get you hooked up out there at their Madison office. That's Men's Health of Mississippi.